Professor Grant tears a baby registry in half, and behind it, two 20-year lives appear on the same wall. On one side, Ryan and his partner have a child at 32 and rebuild their money around a family. On the other side, Daniel and his partner stay child-free, invest more travel, more, and keep their evenings quiet. This is not a video about whether kids are worth it. That question is too small and honestly too cold. The real question is what people give up when they choose parenthood, and what they give up when they do not. Money is only one column. Time sleep, career flexibility, marriage pressure, identity, and future regret are columns too. So let's run the real math without pretending love can be priced like a subscription. Ryan and Daniel start in the same American city with similar incomes, similar rent, and similar retirement accounts. Each household has about $1,200 a month of flexible cash after bills and normal savings. Before kids, the spreadsheet looks almost boring. Both couples can invest, eat out, handle emergencies, and say yes sometimes. Then, Ryan has a baby. The first cost is not college. It is the sudden disappearance of margin. For illustration, assume diapers, Formula Medical co-pays baby gear, and small household changes take several $100s a month. Childcare is the larger pressure point. OECD defines net childcare costs as the family budget reduction after support and benefits. That number changes by country, income, family type, and policy, which is exactly why families feel confused. In Ryan's city, assume center-based childcare is expensive enough to absorb most of the household's former investing surplus. Daniel does not pay that bill. He keeps investing more, but he also keeps a life that may feel easier today. Year one is emotionally uneven. Ryan is exhausted, broke in tiny ways, and completely changed. He stops thinking in weekends. He thinks in naps, appointments, bottle schedules, and whether there is clean laundry. His investment contribution drops from meaningful to symbolic for a while. Daniel's household keeps the same rhythm. Extra money goes to brokerage accounts, travel hobbies, and a cleaner emergency fund. If you only count dollars, Daniel wins year one easily. But Ryan is not buying a product. He is building a relationship that may become the center of his life. That value does not show up in a net worth graph, and pretending it does not exist is lazy analysis. The first hidden variable is not money. It is attention. A child takes attention before they take allowance tuition or car insurance. Ryan's attention becomes fragmented. Work emails compete with daycare pickup. Sleep competes with patience. The same job feels heavier because the recovery time disappeared. Daniel has a different friction. His freedom is real, but it can become strangely abstract. He has more quiet evenings, but also more pressure to make that freedom mean something. No kids does not automatically create purpose. It only creates more optionality. Professor Grant writes one phrase on the board. Optionality is not the same as happiness. Year 3 is when the childcare math gets serious. Ryan and his partner now understand that childcare is not just a bill. It is the price of staying attached to the labor market. The OECD Family Database tracks family outcomes and policies because childcare employment leave and child outcomes connect. That connection matters inside one household, too. If one parent reduces work hours, the family may save on childcare, but lose income, retirement contributions, promotions, and identity. If both parents keep working full-time, the family may preserve careers, but pay with cash stress and constant logistics. Neither path is fake. Both are expensive in different currencies. Ryan's household tries the two-career version first. Morning becomes a relay race. One person packs lunch while the other searches for a missing shoe. A late meeting is no longer a calendar issue. It is a pickup penalty, a traffic problem, and a fight waiting to happen. The monthly budget also becomes harder to forecast because care is not one neat subscription. There may be registration fees, backup care, pediatric visits, medicine, extra groceries, and days when paid help falls through. Some families also hit what people call a childcare cliff. They earn too much for meaningful help, but not enough for the bill to feel normal. That middle zone is brutal because the household looks fine from the outside. 2 salaries, decent apartment, responsible choices, and still the math feels squeezed. Daniel's household does not have that daily friction. He can say yes to a work trip, a late dinner, or a weekend reset without negotiating childcare. That flexibility compounds too, just like money. He can take a certification course at night, recover on Sunday, or accept a project that requires travel. Those choices may not look dramatic, but careers often move through small openings. Ryan might still succeed, but his openings are narrower and more negotiated. By year 3, Daniel's portfolio may be tens of thousands ahead in a simplified model. Ryan's household has memories, photos, and a child learning to talk, but the investment gap has started. This is where people argue badly. One side says kids are priceless, so stop counting. The other side says kids are expensive, so the decision is obvious. Both sides are incomplete. Priceless things can still create financial pressure. Expensive things can still be deeply worth choosing. Year 5 adds housing pressure. Ryan's apartment suddenly feels smaller because toys, strollers, noise, and school zones change what space means. The family considers moving to a safer area with better schools. That choice may raise rent or mortgage costs before anyone buys a soccer uniform. Daniel can stay in the smaller place longer, or move because he wants to, not because the school map pushes him. Ryan's costs also become unpredictable. A kid gets sick, a parent misses work, summer camp appears, and birthday weekends multiply. Some months are fine. Other months feel like the budget has tiny leaks everywhere. The weird part is that no single leak sounds irresponsible. A better car seat is safety. A pediatric copay is health. A birthday party is community. A slightly larger apartment is sleep. A school zone move is opportunity. Parenthood turns many optional expenses into emotionally loaded decisions. That is why telling parents to just budget better can be too shallow. Sometimes they are not buying luxury. They are buying stability for a small person. But Daniel has his own leak. His lifestyle expands because there is room for it. More restaurants, better vacations, upgraded gear, and convenience purchases can quietly eat the child-free advantage. The absence of child costs does not automatically become wealth. It becomes wealth only if the household captures the difference and invests it. Professor Grant underlines the second hidden variable: the money you do not spend still needs a job. At year 5, Daniel may be ahead because he kept investing. But if Daniel spends the entire gap on lifestyle, his financial lead is much smaller than the debate suggests. Ryan may be behind because of childcare and housing, but his life has a different kind of compounding. Family rituals compound, shared jokes compound. A child saying your name in a tiny voice compounds. Again, that is not a financial return. It is a life return. Year 10 is where the career math shows up. Ryan and his partner have survived the most intense childcare years, but the career paths are not identical anymore. One parent may have passed on travel overtime, a promotion, or a risky job switch because the household needed stability. That decision can be wise and costly at the same time. Reuters reported on World Bank findings that childcare and safety policies affect women's participation in work. The broad point is simple: care systems influence labor market choices, especially when the default caregiver pressure falls unevenly. Inside Ryan's household, that pressure can become a marriage issue. Who leaves work when school calls? Who remembers the dentist appointment? Who researches summer programs? Who absorbs the invisible project management of family life? If one partner carries most of it, the cost is not only financial. It becomes resentment, lower energy, fewer career risks, and a quieter version of burnout. Daniel's household avoids that specific care burden, but not all emotional burdens. Friends with kids become less available. Family gatherings start asking questions. Some weekends feel socially out of sync. Child-free life can protect time while creating a different kind of loneliness if community is not built intentionally. By year 10, Daniel's household may have a much larger investment balance under a disciplined model. Ryan's household may have less liquid wealth, higher housing costs, and less flexibility. But Ryan also has a 10-year relationship with a child. A family identity and memories no brokerage account can imitate. The spreadsheet still deserves respect because lower liquidity changes behavior. Ryan may keep a job he dislikes because healthcare, school rhythm, and mortgage timing now matter more. He may avoid a startup offer, a relocation, or a lower-paying dream role because the family cannot absorb the risk. That is not failure. It is the cost of responsibility. Daniel may take the risk, but he also has to live with the possibility that freedom becomes endless optimization. Another trip, another goal, another upgrade, another investment milestone, and still no obvious answer to what it is all for. This is why the question cannot be answered with only a number. The number matters because stress is real. The non-number matters because meaning is real. Year 15 brings the teenage upgrade. Food costs rise, clothes, change activities, get more expensive, and transportation becomes a second calendar system. Ryan is no longer paying daycare, but the savings did not fully return. It moved into sports tutoring devices, insurance, bigger vacations, and a college conversation nobody feels ready for. College is the dangerous topic because people treat it like a future problem until it becomes a present guilt machine. Maybe Ryan can save a little. Maybe he cannot. Maybe the child borrows. Maybe family helps. Every version carries trade-offs, and none of them cancel the earlier childcare years. The child-free household can fund future goals earlier, but it also faces social assumptions. People may expect Daniel to work more travel, host more, or be available because he has no kids. A flexible person can become the backup plan for everyone else's schedule. Daniel keeps investing and may have more freedom to help parents change jobs or take a sabbatical. That is the strongest financial case for staying child-free. Optionality stays high for a long time. But optionality has to be used. If Daniel never decides what his extra time and money are for the advantage can feel strangely hollow. Ryan has less optionality but more built-in obligation. That obligation can feel heavy. It can also give shape to his choices. A family can limit freedom and deepen life at the same time. That sentence is the entire debate. Year 20 is the final reveal. Daniel's disciplined, child-free household may be far ahead financially, potentially by hundreds of thousands in a long, illustrative model. That gap can mean earlier retirement, career flexibility, better healthcare choices, and less panic when life changes. Ryan's household may have less wealth and more years of expenses still ahead. But Ryan did not simply lose money. He traded money, sleep, flexibility, and attention for a relationship and a family life. A fair model would count at least 5 buckets. First, direct child costs. Childcare, food, clothing, healthcare activities, and school-related expenses. Second, housing and transportation changes that happen because the household needs more space or a different location. Third, career effects including reduced hours, missed promotions, lower risk-taking, or one parent becoming the default coordinator. Fourth, time and energy, which can weaken health, friendships, marriage quality, and the ability to pursue side income. Fifth, meaning connection, family identity, and the possibility that this relationship becomes the richest part of life. Only the first 2 buckets are easy to put in a calculator. The other 3 are where most arguments become dishonest. The mistake is pretending the trade does not exist. The opposite mistake is pretending the trade is only a loss. Professor Grant draws the final equation: child cost plus time cost plus career cost plus meaning equals the real decision. If you want kids, count the money early so the stress does not poison the thing you wanted. Build a childcare plan, protect emergency savings, discuss career sacrifice openly, and do not assume love pays invoices. Have the ugly conversation before the baby arrives. Who handles sick days? Whose job has more flexibility? What retirement contribution is protected? Unless there is a real emergency. What expenses are temporary, and which ones might become the new baseline? Those questions are not unromantic. They are protective. If you do not want kids, do not let the unused money vanish into lifestyle drift. Capture the difference, invest it, build community, and give your freedom an actual purpose. Write down what the child-free dividend is supposed to buy. Earlier retirement, creative work, elder care, travel charity, health, friendships, or simply lower stress. If the answer is nothing specific, the money may disappear into convenience. If you are unsure, stop asking whether kids are affordable in the abstract. Ask what version of life you are willing to fund. Can your relationship survive the sleep loss and logistics? Can your career plan survive the care years? Can your budget survive childcare without destroying emergency savings? Can your child-free plan turn freedom into wealth, meaning, and connection instead of just nicer weekends? Those are harder questions than the internet usually asks. The real math of having kids is not that children are an asset or a liability. They are a life-design decision with financial consequences. Ryan and Daniel both gave something up. Ryan gave up margin sleep and some future optionality. Daniel gave up one possible version of family life and had to build meaning more deliberately. The winner is not the person with the cleaner spreadsheet. The winner is the person who counted the real cost, chose honestly, and built a life they can still afford emotionally.